I am happy to speak about my understanding of Dr. Lynton and his contributions to applied behavioral science. I first heard about Dr. Lynton and his work in the year 1967 when I was working at SIET Institute. It was during this time, I think Dr. Parikh left SIET, went to the University of North Carolina, and both of them brought out a book, Training for Development, which I am told around that time was being used as a textbook in most of the American universities, and later it became a very popular book in India. Of course, the American Society for Training and Development's own handbook came much later. Even today, this book is used like a Bible for all the L&D professionals. The classic work of Dr. Lynton is the Aloka experience, which was sometime in mid-50s when the World Youth Forum requested Dr. Rolf Lynton and Ronnie Lynton to build young people as leaders. That was the time when India just got a few years back independence and had about 5,000 community development blocks and needed a lot of youth to be built as leaders. Dr. Lynton and Ronnie came to India and built a good number of people both in India and Sri Lanka, and impressed by the design of the work by Rolf and Ronnie, Dr. Sarabhai wanted this experiment to be tried out in Ahmedabad, and I am told it was Ahmedabad Textile Industries Research Association that started the first experience of youth leadership. And there are a number of people in Attira who later joined IIM Ahmedabad and started, people like Dr. Kamla Chaudhary. And the work of the Tavistock, A.K. Rice and Dr. Lynton and others played the background for a lot of applied behavioral science work later. I must mention something about the interesting methodology used by Dr. Lynton in the Aloka experience. It is building community leaders using participative methods and doing everything themselves. Action learning is the primary focus of it. Action learning, participation, self-reflection, use of groups, and building communities. That was a great experience of Aloka, which is talked time and again. In later years, both I think Rolf and Ronnie were instrumental in writing a book on ASEAN cases. When I joined IIM Ahmedabad in 73, I still remember using case studies like Gopal Cotton Mills and the X-ray attendant and a number of other cases from these books. And in fact, IIM used it to initiate case method as a method for use by the Indian Institute of Management in Ahmedabad, which started with the collaboration from Harvard Business School. I think there is so much to talk about Rolf. I think this time is not enough. I think the most important contribution Rolf made was in professionalizing management in government of Indonesia, working for almost about 5-6 years and building a large number of local people along with Dr. Uday Parikh. And I had the good opportunity to work with Rolf for about 7 months in different provinces of Indonesia. First I went to Central Java, using the task analysis as a method for identifying the tasks of nursing community, nurses in a hospital in Semarang. Later we used this method in West Sumatra, where I stayed, and then along with Dr. Parikh developed a large number of people. Later came to Central Java and so on. I think the work of Rolf is very well documented in his book, latest book on his own experience of institution building across 4 continents. Dr. Lynton started working with Pradhan, which was started by one of the IIM Ahmedabad products, Vijay Mahajan and a number of others, to professionalize management in voluntary agencies, NGOs and so on. And his work with Pradhan, along with Deepankar Rai, Ramesh Karoda and a whole number of others, and of course Dr. Uday Parikh, is quite well known and well documented. It was really in the SIET Institute, Rolf initiated, when he was a USAID or Ford Foundation consultant, initiated a large number of T group or applied behavioral sciences methods, and also got David McClelland involved in experimenting with entrepreneurship and so on. I think it is the uh, foundation laid by Dr. Rolf Lynton at CET Institute by training a large number of faculty, which included Dr. Uday Parikh himself, later Manohar Nadkarni, KJ Christopher, Sujit Bhattacharya, Somnath Chattopadhyay, and Prayag Mehta, whole number of others. I think they all formed some kind of a group and then went to NTL, and that laid the foundation for starting of the Indian Society for Applied Behavioral Science. So from many ways, starting from Hyderabad to Ahmedabad to across the country with various institutions, Rolf is associated with building them. It is so, I'm so happy that we are celebrating the 100 years of Dr. Linton, and I consider it as a proud privilege to share some of my thoughts on Rolf. To me, Rolf is a highly participative, reflective, documenting leader from whom we can learn a lot of things. I would recommend everyone to read the biography of Rolf Lynton written by Dr. Parikh almost about 25 years ago, where he talks about what a researcher can learn from Dr. Rolf Lynton. Rolf, nice to be with you. Thank you very much for all that you have contributed. I think your work will always remain for many of us as a model to emulate and continuously learn. Learning is the main thing that you have always focused. Thank you, and be peaceful, continue to have great health, and live long enough to keep inspiring us.